10 jaw-dropping money stats of the average person, 2026. Have you ever wondered how much money the average American actually has sitting in their bank account? I'll tell you right now, the answer's going to shock you. We see people driving luxury cars, living in big houses, and eating out constantly. But behind closed doors, the numbers tell a completely different story. Most Americans are one car repair away from financial panic, and they have no idea how deep the hole really goes. Today, I'm breaking down 10 financial statistics from 2025 that reveal exactly how Americans earn, spend, and supposedly save money. And I'm warning you, one of these stats shows why 60% of people can't handle a $1,000 emergency. If you don't know which one, you might be part of that group. Stick with me to the end because the last stat flips everything you think you know about getting rich completely upside down. Hit subscribe, drop a comment saying money truth right now, and let's dive into the reality most people are hiding from. Starting with a statistic that absolutely floored me. Number 1. 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 for emergencies. Let me start with the statistic that absolutely floored me. 6 out of 10 Americans don't have $1,000 saved for emergencies. Think about that. Your car breaks down, your kid needs urgent medical care, your furnace dies in the middle of winter, and more than half of this country has to put it on a credit card or ask someone for money. This isn't about being poor. According to Bankrate, 25% of people facing a $1,000 emergency would have to use credit cards. And here's the kicker, 34% of Gen Z has zero emergency savings. Zero. There's an ancient story about the ant and the grasshopper. The grasshopper spent the summer singing, living for today, having fun. The ant worked quietly, storing food for winter. When the cold came, the grasshopper had nothing. The ant survived. Simple story, brutal truth. Preparation beats panic every single time. Here's what you need to do. Start building an emergency fund right now. Not next month, not when you get a raise, today. Even if it's $10 a week, open a separate savings account. Name it Do Not Touch and automate transfers so you never see the money. Your goal is 3 to 6 months of expenses, but start with that first 1,000. Think of your emergency fund as financial oxygen. You don't think about breathing until you can't. You won't think about emergency savings until you desperately need it and don't have it. That credit card swipe for an emergency becomes debt that haunts you for years. Having that cushion isn't about being rich. It's about sleeping at night, knowing that when life hits you, and it will, you won't be destroyed. But that's just the obvious part. Because having money sitting around is pointless if you don't know where most Americans actually keep it. Number 2. The median bank balance is only $8,000. Here's the reality check nobody wants to hear. The median bank account balance in America is $8,000. That's it. Half the country has less than that sitting in their accounts right now. But here's where it gets interesting. If you're making over $150,000 a year, your median balance jumps to $33,000. The gap isn't just real, it's massive. And it proves one thing. Your income determines your ability to save, but only if you actually save it. Let me tell you about 2 neighbors. Both made $70,000 a year. One kept upgrading, bigger apartment, nicer car, eating out constantly. After 10 years, he had $4,000 in the bank. The other lived modestly, drove a used car, and cooked at home. After 10 years, $85,000 saved. Same income, completely different choices. One focused on looking successful, the other focused on being financially secure. Here's your move. Don't compare your bank balance to others. Compare it to your own potential. If you're making good money, but your account is empty, you have a spending problem, not an income problem. Track where every dollar goes for 30 days. You'll be shocked at the leaks. And here's the critical part. If you've got money sitting in a regular checking or savings account, earning basically nothing, you're losing ground. That $8,000 could be working for you, instead of just sitting there slowly losing value to inflation. Look, having money in the bank is good, but having money that's actually growing, That's the difference between survival and building real wealth. And what I'm about to say is what makes the difference, because $18 trillion is sitting completely still right now. And you might be part of the problem. Number 3, $18 trillion sitting dead in banks. This one makes me crazy. Americans have over $18 trillion, with a T, sitting in commercial banks right now. But here's the insane part. 82% of people aren't using high-yield savings accounts. They're leaving their money in accounts earning almost nothing while inflation eats it alive. Let me break down the math so you see how much money you're throwing away. Say you've got $5,000 sitting in a typical bank account earning 0.4% a year. Know what you make? $20. $20 in a whole year. But if you moved that exact same money to a high-yield savings account earning 3.5%, you'd make $175. That's almost 9 times more, and you didn't do anything except move it to a different account. There's a Jewish teaching that says, a penny saved is a penny earned. But I'll update it. A dollar sitting still is a dollar dying. Money that isn't growing is shrinking because inflation is always eating at its value. Your action step is dead simple. This week, open a high-yield savings account. Put your emergency fund there. Put your savings there. Most of them are online, FDIC insured, and take 15 minutes to set up. Your money should be working for you even when you're sleeping. Look, I get it. Banking sounds boring. Moving money around feels like a hassle. But we're talking about free money just for putting your cash in a smarter place. That's not complicated investing. That's basic common sense. Stop letting your money sleep when it could be working. Even small interest adds up over time, and that's money you didn't have to trade your time for. Wait, there's something you need to pay attention to if you don't want to lose everything. Because the next trap is one people walk into with their eyes wide open. Number 4, buy now, pay later. The new debt trap. Here's the new way Americans are going broke. Buy now, pay later. Sounds harmless, right? No interest, split it into 4 payments, easy. But the average BNPL user now owes $760. And here's the scary part. 40% admit they regret it, and 24% have already missed payments. Want to know what's even crazier? The people using BNPL the most aren't broke college kids. They're high earners making between $100,000 and $150,000 a year. They have the money, but the psychological trick of 4 easy payments makes them spend on things they'd never buy if they had to pay up front. There's a simple principle Warren Buffett lives by. If you can't afford to buy it twice, you can't afford it once. BNPL makes you think you can afford anything because you don't feel the pain of paying. But that pain? It's your brain's way of protecting you from bad decisions. Here's your reality check. Every BNPL purchase is a commitment to future you. And the future you has bills, emergencies, and responsibilities that the present you isn't thinking about. That $50 shirt split into 4 payments doesn't feel like much. Until you've got 6 different BNPL payments hitting your account, and suddenly you're juggling money like a circus act. The move? Delete those apps. Seriously, if you can't pay cash or debit for it right now, you're not ready to own it. Save up, then buy it. Old school? Maybe. But you know what else is old school? Not being stressed about money. BNPL isn't free money. It's future stress disguised as convenience. But that's just the surface. What's behind it is what will startle people. Because there's an even bigger money trap sitting in most American driveways right now. Number 5. 26.6% are underwater on car trades. This one's brutal. More than 1 in 4 Americans trading in their car owes more than the car is worth. They're bringing negative equity to the dealership. On average, $6,700 that they still owe on a car they don't even own anymore. How does this happen? Simple. They financed a car for 84 or 96 months, 7 to 8 years. The car lost value faster than they paid down the loan. Then they got tired of it, wanted something newer. And the dealer said, "No problem. We'll roll that negative equity into your new loan." Now they're paying for 2 cars but only driving 1. Let me tell you about a man I knew who bought a $40,000 truck because it looked successful. 5 years later, he traded it in, still owed $23,000, but the truck was worth $16,000. $7,000 of debt just vanished into thin air. Except it didn't vanish. It got rolled into his next loan. He's been paying for cars he doesn't own for 15 years now. Here's the rule that will save you thousands. Follow the 24-10 rule. Put down 20%, finance for no more than 4 years, and make sure your total car payment isn't more than 10% of your income. If you can't do that, you're buying too much car. And here's the hard truth. That shiny car doesn't make you rich. It makes you look rich while keeping you broke. The wealthiest people I know drive paid-off cars that are 5 to 10 years old. They care about net worth, not image. A car is transportation, not a status symbol. The moment you understand that, you stop bleeding money. It sounds simple, but the hardest part is what's about to be told next. Because Americans are waiting longer than ever to make the biggest purchase of their lives. Number 6. Median home buying age is now 38, up 10 years. In 1991, the average American bought their first home at 28. Today, 38. That's a full decade delay. And it's not because people don't want to buy, it's because they can't afford to. Here's why. Home prices have exploded faster than wages. The average home buyer needs to make $112,000 a year just to afford a median-priced home. But the median household income in America? $87,000. The math doesn't work for most people anymore. But here's what nobody tells you. You don't have to buy a house to build wealth. I know. Everyone says renting is throwing money away, but you know what else throws money away? Buying a house you can't afford, in a location you might leave, with maintenance costs that drain you dry. There's an old story about a farmer who owned land but couldn't farm it because he spent all his time maintaining it. Meanwhile, his neighbor rented land, farmed it profitably, and invested the difference. 20 years later, the renter owned 3 farms. The original owner was still stressed about one. Your move. Only buy if you're staying put for at least 5 to 10 years and you can truly afford it. Not just the mortgage, but the taxes, insurance, repairs, and all the hidden costs. If you're not ready, rent without shame and invest the difference in index funds or other assets. That's still building wealth. The goal isn't to own a house. The goal is financial freedom. Sometimes a house helps you get there. Sometimes it chains you down. Know the difference before you sign. Don't jump to conclusions, because what comes next can change your perspective completely. Most people don't even realize they're sitting on money that's doing absolutely nothing. Number 7. 28% forget to invest when rolling over 401k. Here's a mistake that's costing people hundreds of thousands of dollars. 28% of Americans roll their 401k into an IRA and then just leave it sitting there, not invested, not growing, just sitting in cash doing absolutely nothing. According to Vanguard, 68% of people don't even know where their retirement money is actually invested. They think moving it to an IRA means they're done. But here's the truth. Moving money isn't investing it. You've just changed the container. You haven't planted the seeds. Imagine you've got a garden plot. You buy seeds, you carry them to the plot, you set them down, and then you walk away. Next spring, you come back expecting tomatoes. But there's nothing. Why? Because you never actually planted them. That's exactly what's happening with millions of retirement accounts right now. Here's your action step. Log into your retirement account today. Right now. Don't wait. Check what your money is actually invested in. If it says cash balance or money market, you've got a problem. Your money should be working, invested in index funds, target date funds, or something that grows. Every year that money sits uninvested is a year of compound growth you'll never get back. We're not talking small numbers here. $10,000 sitting in cash for 20 years, still $10,000. $10,000 invested at 7%, $39,000. That's $29,000 you just left on the table because you didn't check a box. Your retirement isn't automatic. It requires attention. 5 minutes of checking today could mean the difference between working until 70 or retiring at 60. You think you've understood everything? There's a detail that few people notice, but it's extremely important. Because while you're worried about small gains, you're missing the big picture entirely. Number 8. The stock market doubles every 10 years. Let me hit you with some perspective. Despite crashes, recessions, panics, and chaos, the S&P 500 has averaged 8 to 10% returns per year over the long haul. That means your money doubles roughly every 10 years if you just stay in the game. But here's the catch that destroys most investors. If you miss just the 10 best days in the market over 30 years, you lose over 50% of your potential returns. 10 days out of more than 7,000 trading days. That's how fragile the timing of the market is. Think about the story of the tortoise and the hare. The hare was faster, more talented, more exciting to watch, but he got cocky, kept stopping, kept thinking he could outsmart the race. The tortoise? Slow, steady, never stopped. We all know who won. Most investors are the hare. They jump in when things are hot, panic when things drop, sit out waiting for the perfect time, and miss the recovery. Meanwhile, the boring investor who just stays invested through everything, they're the tortoise and they're winning. Your move: stop trying to time the market. You can't. Nobody can. Not consistently. Put your money in a low-cost index fund and leave it alone. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when it drops. Don't get greedy when it rises. Cash feels safe, but it's slowly dying to inflation. The market feels scary, but over time, it's the only place your money actually grows. 10 years from now, you'll wish you stayed invested. So stay invested. And it's in the next section that many people make mistakes without even knowing it. Because there's a number everyone wants to hit, but most people misunderstand what it really means. Number 9. Top 10% wealth requires 1.06 million net worth. Want to be in the top 10% of wealthy Americans? You need a net worth of $1.06 million. That's up from $970,000 just a few years ago. Inflation doesn't sleep, and neither should your wealth-building strategy. But here's what most people get wrong. Top 10% income doesn't equal top 10% wealth. I know doctors making $300,000 a year with $50,000 in the bank. And I know teachers making $60,000 who've quietly built $1 million portfolio by 55. The difference? One spent to match their income. The other invested relentlessly. There's a powerful parable about two merchants. The first earned gold every day and displayed it in his window for everyone to admire. The second earned silver, but quietly bought land, olive trees, and wells. 20 years later, the first merchant was still working to maintain his image. The second owned half the town and never had to work again. Net worth reveals discipline, not salary. It's what you keep and grow, not what you earn and spend. Track your net worth every 6 months. Write down everything you own minus everything you owe. That number tells the truth about your financial life. Your starting move: calculate your net worth today. Assets minus liabilities. If you're negative, don't panic. Just start climbing. If you're positive, celebrate. Then ask, how can I grow this by 10% this year? You don't have to be in the top 10% to win, but knowing where you stand gives you a target to chase. And every dollar you invest, every debt you pay off, every smart decision you make moves that number up. Wait, the most important part is in the following story, because I'm about to show you something that changes everything you think you know about getting rich. Number 10. Savings rate beats investment returns. This is the stat that flips everything upside down. Everyone obsesses over investment returns. Should I buy crypto? Which stocks? What's the next big thing? But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Early on, your savings rate matters way more than your returns. Let me prove it with real math. Two people, same starting point, both earning $100,000 a year. Person A saves 10%, $10,000 a year, but only earns a 1% return. Person B saves 5%, $5,000 a year, but earns a 10% return. Who hits $100,000 in savings first? Person A does it in 9.6 years. Person B takes 11.7 years. The person who saves more beats the person who invests better. Every single time in the early years. There's a chicken soup story about two brothers who received the same inheritance. The first brother asked, "How can I make this money grow fast?" The second asked, "How can I make sure I keep adding to this?" 10 years later, the first brother had chased hot stocks, made risky bets, and had less than he started with. The second brother's slow and steady contributions built a fortune that compounded into millions. Here's your wake-up call. Stop obsessing over finding the perfect investment. Start obsessing over increasing your savings rate. Bump it up 2 to 3% this year. That simple change could cut years off your path to financial freedom. Discipline beats luck. Consistency beats talent. And the person who saves 20% with average returns will destroy the person who saves 5% with great returns. You don't need to be a genius investor. You need to be a disciplined saver. That's the secret nobody wants to tell you because it's not exciting, but it works. All of the above will be meaningless if you miss the last detail. These aren't just numbers, they're mirrors showing you exactly where you stand. So there you have it, 10 statistics that reveal the brutal truth about money in America. These numbers aren't just data, they're a mirror. And if you don't like what you see, good. That means you're ready to change. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pick one stat that hit you hardest and commit to fixing it this week. Maybe it's opening that high-yield savings account. Maybe it's finally checking where your retirement money actually is. Maybe it's deleting those buy now, pay later apps. Just pick one and act on it. If this video opened your eyes, do me a favor. Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Comment money truth below if you're ready to stop being average and start building real wealth. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. You might just change their financial life. What topic should I tackle next? Credit card debt? Real estate myths? Investment strategies? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading every single one. Remember, you don't need luck to build wealth. You need truth, discipline, and action. Start today. Your future self is counting on you.